I mean, people are more likely to have a drink than they are to abuse amphetamines or opiates or cocaine or something like that.
Well, alcohol is a drug.
Yes,
I mean,
know that.
You know, let's not make any. It's a legal drug, you know, but nonetheless, it's a drug. And you know, I think that if you have an employee who is in an accident with a county vehicle and somebody is killed or injured as a result, there's not going to be any difference in terms of your potential liability according to whether it was alcohol or whether it was cocaine.
Right.
I mean, the fact is that, you know, if a person in an impaired state has an accident and causes somebody else to, you know, to be seriously injured or, God forbid, die, you know, it doesn't really matter what the substance is. You know, you have to treat illegal drugs and alcohol a little bit differently because there is the distinction between legal and illegal substances. But still, you know, almost every drug and alcohol policy is just that, and alcohol is tested for it as well.
How do you differentiate between the person who abuses his own prescription
and
the person?
Well,
you know, somebody their back bothers them and they get some Loracets or something, and I mean, where do you draw that line? How do you determine that?
A couple of the ways that you determine that are when a medication like that is prescribed. The doctor will prescribe how much, how often you ought to take it. When somebody is taking it more often and in higher dosages than the physician prescribes, that is abuse of a legal substance. It's a legal substance, but it is being abused, and that is a violation of the policy. If, for instance, you know, your husband or wife has a prescription for something like that, and you know, you're not feeling all that well or you're having a bad day, so you start taking somebody else's prescription, that's an abuse. You know, that's a violation of the policy. And one of the things that policies, not always, but typically require is that if you are on any kind of a medication that might result in impairment or impede your ability to safely perform your job, then you have to tell your supervisor, and a decision has to be made about whether or not you have to be relieved